Hey there, podcast lovers. Looking for a fresh take on the world? Tune into Nikki's World, where we dive into everything hitting the headlines and chat about just what's on our minds. No filters, just real talk. Whether you're sipping your morning coffee or unwinding after a long day, Nikki's World is your go-to for genuine commentary on the real world. Subscribe now if you want to hear the real deal on what's going on. Join the conversation on Nikki's World, where every episode feels like catching up with an old friend. Don't miss out.
What's up, y'all? Let's do this. Oh, hi, y'all. Welcome to Nikki's World. I'm Nikki, your host, and today, guys, we're going to talk about the inauguration of President Donald Trump. He got inaugurated a while ago, got sworn in. Now he's the 45th and 47th President of the United States. We're going to talk about that and so much more. But before we go any further, guys, if you guys love Nikki's World so much, seriously, y'all, seriously, can y'all please consider donating a cup of coffee for me? Because for the price of a cup of coffee at Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, and Cumberland Farms, guys, you guys help keep this podcast show alive. You guys help me curate more stories, more topics like this to talk about. I do accept Bitcoin donations. I am on Ko-fi, guys. If you guys want to support and sponsor Nikki's World, if you guys love Nikki's World so much, seriously, y'all, please hit that like, subscribe, please give me a review. Good, bad, and the ugly. Also, guys, I do have a bunch of affiliate links. First off is minds.com. If you guys value freedom of speech and the right to speak freely without fear of censorship, you guys can join me on minds.com. Also, I have a link to burner.com. If you guys value your right to the Second Amendment and your right to defend yourself in a less lethal manner, you guys can buy a burner pistol in the link in the description below. Full disclaimer, ladies and gentlemen, I do own a burner LE pistol. I do talk about it on the show a lot. And also, guys, if you guys know anybody that wears adult diapers like I do, you guys can buy adult diapers through North Shore Mega Supply. I wear the Mega Max diaper and with boosters, guys. So if you guys know anybody that needs adult diapers, that needs to wear them, you guys can buy them in the link in the description below. And before we get this show on the road, literally, guys, if you guys love this episode and any of my other episodes on Nikki's World, seriously, y'all, seriously, can y'all please consider sharing this across all the social media platforms that are out there today? Woo! Wow, woo-wee. Yeah, that was a mouthful, ladies and gentlemen. And yes, today is the day that America is back. And oh, by the way, guys, I'm diapered up. Just to let y'all know, I'm diapered up in my North Shore Mega Max with 3 boosters and a onesie. All right. So today, guys, is the day that America is making a comeback. America is back, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, America is so back and so in charge, okay? As I'm watching the inauguration right now on Fox Live, guys, I'm telling you right now, America is back. America is back again. As of right now, the southern border is now closed. That means no illegal immigrant can cross the border now. Okay? That means all the illegal immigrants in the United States of America right now, pack your bags because Tom Holman is coming after you. Pack your bags. Go home. Get the fuck out. Get out of here. Pack your bags. Tom Holman is coming after you. And don't be surprised if Tom Holman comes to a town near you and kicks out all the illegal immigrants. Okay? Don't be surprised, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be surprised. But I did like the fact that J.D. Vance got promoted from Marine Corps Corporal, which is an E4, to now Vice President J.D. Vance. That is a total boss move by the E4 mafias in the United States military. I'm betting you right now, every E4 in the United States military is having a party right now. They are celebrating the fact that a Marine corporal, which is an E4, got promoted from being a corporal to now vice president of the United States. Now former Corporal J.D. Vance, now Vice President J.D. Vance, is now going to give orders to generals and admirals. Total boss move right there, man. Total boss move right there. And I'm telling you this right now, guys. That is the most total boss move in the entire fucking world. That a Marine Corps corporal is now the vice president of the United States and is now going to give orders to generals and admirals. Every corporal in E4 in the military right now is probably going like this, clapping their hands and going, that is the most boss move in the world. And every E4 is going to be like this. I should start following the footsteps of our vice president, you know? And that is the boss move. One thing I want to talk about is when President Trump made his speech after swearing in. I like the fact that he is now changing the name from the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. And now, and on top of that, he's changing the name of the Denali Mountain to Mount McKinley. Awesome move by that. Awesome move. And I also like the fact that he is now changing the name from of the IRS from the Internal Revenue Service to the External Revenue Service, which means I hope through a Republican controlled Congress that we can get a bill passed that we will no longer tax citizens of this country. We will go back to the 1913s where people went to work and not be taxed. And the only tax we ever collected was from tariffs and from sales. That's it. That's the only tax we ever collected. And that is why I hope by the end of 2025, okay? And Speaker Mike Johnson, we're gonna hold your ass and feet to the fire. You better get President Trump a bill that basically eliminates the income tax. We're gonna hold your feet and ass to the fucking fire. That you better get a bill handed to President Trump on his desk that we eliminate the income tax. Basically repealing what? The 16th Amendment, which is the federal income tax? Basically. And if we get that, that is the best stimulus that even leftists would probably cheer for. Because you know why? They'd be like this. They'd be paying more money for this. They'd be swimming. They'd be swimming in money. They'd be swimming in that. And then all we have to do instead is tax imports, tax tariffs, tax all the products that are made overseas and shipped to America. That way, we can force companies to move to America, to move to North America. It's that simple. That simple. That way, like this, companies like Tesla, Apple could bring manufacturing back to America. Tesla could probably, I mean, Elon Musk, who runs what, a bunch of companies like X, SpaceX, Starlink, and Tesla. I wouldn't be surprised if he starts bringing manufacturing back to North America. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if he said like this, hey, let's start bringing manufacturing back to North America. Maybe Canada, maybe US or Mexico, back to North America, and then products could be shipped easily. You see? The other thing I like about this, the walls going back up, ladies and gentlemen. Border walls going back up. The Remain in Mexico policy is in effect since noon. So that means now illegal immigrants will not be able to cross into this country anymore. Tom Homan has the leash has come off of Tom Homan. He is now going to be gunning after all the liberal cities and states who are hiding illegal immigrants, shielding them. Because basically it's like this. These liberal cities and states, they're breaking federal law. Immigration is not a state issue. Immigration is a federal issue. Although the left wants to make abortion a federal issue, but then we kicked it back to the states and said, hey, abortion's a state issue, just like the 10th Amendment. 10th Amendment said like any law that is not the domain of the federal government gets kicked back to the people, aka the states. So each individual state gets to make its own decision. It's pretty much that simple. So same thing. Since immigration is not a state issue, immigration is a federal issue. So which means states have no say in immigration issues. Only the feds do. That's why I'm glad that as of today at high noon, Tom Homan is now going after liberal cities and states, going after illegal immigrants in these sanctuary cities and states. They're gone. They're kicked out. They're bye. And it's like, see ya, don't want to be ya. And at the same time, guys, Trump just declared that like all these illegal immigrant thugs, gangs, terrorists, gone, bye, see ya. They should be put on a boat and shipped out back to their home country. It is that simple, you know? And one thing I do like that Trump did, and I'm okay with this as an intersex DSD person. Now, as of January 2025, at noon, which was what, 2 hours ago, the federal government now only recognizes men and women, and now only recognizes women as XX chromosome and biological women who have who have ovaries, uterus, vagina, and can give birth and bear children. The federal government recognizes that. And now the federal government is now saying, sorry, we don't recognize men who cosplay as women. We don't recognize men who identify as women or men who want to be in women's sports or women's prison. That is all gone. That is all bye bye, gone, out the door, boom. And oh, by the way, right now, I'm watching this right now. Trump's in one of the rooms right now. He is now about to sign so many executive orders. Oh my lord, these executive orders, man. Oh wow. You know, we're about to rescind all the Pine Nose orders, which is what I call president in name only. The let's go Brandon, the fuck Joe Biden guy. We are now about to make America great again. And I'm glad for that. As an entrepreneur, guys, I'm glad. I am so glad, which is awesome and which is a total boss move. The fact of the matter is, ladies and gentlemen, Trump won because we got sick and tired of the Democrats pandering to leftists like Andy and Brandy Tifa or the tranny Tifa, the BLMs, the leftists, the socialists, the Marxists, the communists, the men who claim to be women. We got tired of it and we won and we took our country back. And then now you have leftists who are crying, having a hissy fit, a temper tantrum in their soiled diapers that they can't run the country anymore. Well, too fucking damn bad because now the adults are back and now we're gonna clean up the mess that you fucking created. Yep. Which is a total boss move. And the one thing I do like about this, guys, I do like about this is that our economy is going to come back, which means inflation is going to start dropping in record numbers. Stock market is going to probably shoot up, probably back to the moon, probably all the way to Mars, which is kind of great and kind of awesome. And I do say this, guys. I do say this. America is back in action. You know, America is back. One thing I do want to say is like this. I've been trying to go on X to follow the new POTUS account, but it's been what you call it slammed to oblivion. Well, I'm watching this on live now, and I see sissy boy Chucky Schumer there. You know, he's no longer the the majority leader, so he's now what the sissy boy minority leader. So to me, he has no say. He has no power now. Democrats right now, they're still doubling down on calling you racist, istophobe, transphobe, whatever phobe. But that's all dying right now because people are laughing and mocking at them. People are mocking them to a fucking oblivion, which is kind of great and kind of awesome. The fact of the matter is, guys, I woke up this morning to a brand new America. I woke up this morning knowing that America is back, knowing that this country is back at it again. This country is going to be great again. I woke up knowing that America's coming back. And as someone right now who is looking for work with the Trump economy coming back, I hope I can land a job and hopefully take advantage of the Trump tax cuts. And that's the one thing I'm hoping is that they make the Trump tax cuts permanent in law and you can't repeal it. I hope that happens, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that. And I know as far as the leftists, they're probably going to whine, complain about Melania Trump's dress. Well, look at what the Pino's first lady, the fake Dr. Joe Biden. We were mocking her dress and all that shit, and we were boycotting all the companies that were working for her. And I'll bet you the leftists are going to do the same thing. But you know what? Their power is dying. They have no power anymore. They lost that on November 5th, 2024, and they lost that on January 2025. Basically, ladies and gentlemen, the left has no power anymore in this country. Their power just went out the window. Okay? Their power just went finito, right out the window. Gone. Finished. Basically, they have no power anymore. The only power leftists have, ladies and gentlemen, is at your state and local level. And that's where the fight begins, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, the midterm elections is coming up in 2026. We now have a chance to cement power not only at the federal level, but at the state level as well, ladies and gentlemen. So now the fight is going to be at the congressional and state level. What I mean by that, folks, is that in 2026, half half of the House and half of the Senate is going to be up for reelection. So it's now time, ladies and gentlemen, that we get candidates who are pro MAGA, who will put America first, who will put US citizens first before anyone else. That means at the federal level, in this case at the congressional level, and also at the state level. My friends, state elections are going to be very important because that determines our outcome in 2026 and in 2028. 2028 is also going to be important, guys, because now we have to groom J.D. Vance to run for president. We also have to get Trump Jr. on board as well. My suggestion, ladies and gentlemen, we start getting J.D. Vance groomed to run for president in 2028. And then we also get Trump Jr. in line as well. I would say like this: J.D. Vance runs for president, Trump Jr. runs for vice president. After J.D. Vance's 8-year term, hand it over to Trump Jr., let him run for another 8 years. That way we cement power permanently, and the left will never, ever have room ever again. I'm saying this right now, guys, is that we need to look ahead. We need to plan ahead. We need to plan for the midterms now. That means find out which ones in Congress right now is going to be up for reelection. That means in come 2026, they're going to have to run for reelection. So at this point, ladies and gentlemen, we need to start watching whoever we have in Congress now and tell them, you ever vote against Trump and Vance, we will hang the threat of primary over your head and we will run a candidate against you. Make that known to them that we will primary you. Because the one thing these people hate is a primary. Because if they have to run in a primary, their voting record is going to lay bare naked on the floor or on the table for everyone to see. That's how you ensure the MAGA movement, the conservative movement, the libertarian movement stays in power. One thing I like about what Trump said during his inauguration speech, guys, is that he wants to make America healthy again. And this goes to Robert Kennedy Jr.'s Maha slogan, make America healthy again. Because what Trump likes about Robert Kennedy Jr. is that if you have a healthy nation, you have a vibrant, strong nation. And Robert Kennedy Jr. ensuring Trump that he has a healthy nation, that in turn creates a strong nation, is a winning combination, ladies and gentlemen. It is a winning combination. The fact of the matter is, ladies and gentlemen, and the fact of the matter is that having a strong nation creates a winning nation. Okay? Having a healthy nation creates a strong nation. And the fact of the matter is, guys, our food system, okay, is at a crisis level. The fact that we have chemicals in our food that is largely banned in Europe and around the world is why we have an obese nation. We have a nation that is overweight, obese, that is unhealthy, that has so many physical and mental health problems to the 10th degree, is why we're a nation in decline. We literally are. And this is why, ladies and gentlemen, this is why having Robert Kennedy Jr. as Secretary of Health and Human Services, we're going to clean up our medical and food system in one short order. We're going to make sure that all these chemicals that we've been harping about, okay, get banned from the United States, get removed, okay? And then we're going to, and then with Elon Musk at the helm of Dodge, we're going to clean up the federal government like no tomorrow. Get rid of like waste, inefficiency, streamline the federal government, make it more productive, and get rid of the bureaucratic bullshit that is ruining this country. And I hope to God that Trump tells Elon Musk that you got free reign to audit the entire United States of America, and if it needs to be get rid of, hand it to Congress and say, hey, I found this amount of waste in all this in government. We could streamline this whole thing by getting rid of all the bureaucratic crap. Hand that report to Congress. Let them go through it with a fine tooth comb. As far as our Secretary of Defense, I'm gonna say like this to our senators: if you don't confirm Pete Hegseth as Secretary of Defense, expect a primary. Expect to be primaried. No bones about it. Expect a primary. We will hang a primary over your head. It's that simple. And for all the Trump appointees, they better be confirmed. And if they're not confirmed, we will primary you in the next election. We will go to your district and tell your voters in your district why you didn't vote for this, and let them decide what to do. It's that simple. We'll do it. we'll do it. You see what I mean? And right now, I see Trump and Vance heading to a luncheon over there, which is kind of great. And I like the fact that the, the E4 mafia in the military is celebrating the fact that you now have a Marine Corps corporal who is now going to be, who is now the vice president and is about to do a total boss move and now tell generals and admirals what to do. E4 is sitting back there going, "That is the bossiest move I have ever seen in my entire life." And I'll tell you this much, man, that is that is the bossiest move. But then I want to talk about this one thing, guys. Before the let's go Brandon, the fuck Joe Biden left town, you know what he did? You know what he did, ladies and gentlemen? Do you know what he just did? He pre-pardoned the J6 committee members, General Mark Milley and Anthony Fauci. I'm like, how the fuck do you pre-pardon someone for supposed for to protect them from what? Any future crime? And then at the same time, before he left, he pardoned his own family. Those pardons should be challenged in court. Those pardons should be challenged on the grounds that Joe Biden is mentally incompetent. Even his own Justice Department said he was mentally incompetent. Even the House Speaker, Mike Johnson, on video said he was mentally incompetent when it came to signing legislation. If that is proof that he is mentally incompetent, all those pardons should be challenged in court, should be challenged by the incoming attorney general. Okay? They should be challenged by Cash Patel. Cash Patel, in my opinion, should be given a blank check, go after the deep state, go after the Democrats, go after leftists and liberals. Basically, like this, clean them out, hang them to dry. If I were Trump, I would let him use RICO. RICO would literally, ladies and gentlemen, clean the federal government out in one short order. It would basically wipe the feds, it would basically wipe the deep state clean. They would be sitting in federal prison for it. They would, ladies and gentlemen, they would. The fact that they're doing this is a slap in the face to everyone. But yet, Democrats are going to harp and say, well, no one's above the law. I present you the senile dementia resident and former resident of the White House. I give you that. As I'm standing here in my onesie and diaper and showing y'all this, frankly, ladies and gentlemen, frankly, this is a slap in the face to America on the way out for this senile dementia resident. Okay? If the Speaker of the House knew that he was incompetent, all those pardons should be challenged in federal court, including the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court should challenge those immediately. The Supreme Court should literally, should literally take up a case and say, hey, was Joe Biden competent enough to sign these papers? If he is incompetent, then that means all his pardons should be tossed out the window, should be tossed out. Because how can you be incompetent and sign something? Well, I could cite you a number of examples of Joe Biden's incompetence. Yeah, I could cite you enough that could fill a stadium. I could. I really could. The fact of the matter is, ladies and gentlemen, the fact of the matter is that this is a total slap in the face of Joe Biden pre-pardoning someone for what is supposedly a crime that they hadn't been convicted of in a court of law. All those pre-pardons should be challenged in court. They should be like white. They should be like pre. They should be challenged immediately. And if I were Speaker of the House right now, I would call a joint session in Congress. I would call a joint session, and say, "Hey, what this asshole did, we don't accept those pardons. We're gonna null and void them. We're gonna say, nope, they don't count. They don't count because under our legal system, you have to be convicted of a crime in order to be eligible for a pardon. Quite frankly, these people need to be convicted of a crime. Anthony Fauci, General Mark Milley, and the whole entire J6 committee should be arrested, prosecuted, and convicted and thrown in prison. It is that motherfucking simple. The fact that he did this, ladies and gentlemen, is a total slap in the face to the rule of law that the supposedly Democrats and the leftist, socialist, communists all try to say, well, that's the rule of law. Yeah. Sometimes I like to take a leftist and just beat the living shit and body slam them and do a couple of Stone Cold Steve Austin stunners and then do a couple of Hulk Hogan leg drops on them afterwards. Yes, that's my WWE saying because I live in the home state of the WWE headquarters in Stamford, Connecticut. Yeah, but I'm telling you this right now. I'm telling you this right now. That's a slap in the face. And when I heard what he did, I was like, are you fucking out of your damn mind? But knowing this guy has dementia, yeah, he is out of his damn mind. He literally is. And I will say this. I will say this. We, those pardons need to be canceled. Those pardons need to be challenged. Pam, which is going to be our new attorney general, she needs to challenge that in court. She needs to go to the federal court and say, "No, that's illegal. That's wrong. You can't pardon somebody for this shit and this shit." And then and that's like the Pino saying, "Oh, the Equal Rights Amendment is federal law." Uh, Dumbass. It was never ratified. It missed the deadline about what? How many decades ago? About two or three, or about four or five decades ago. So you missed the deadline in 1979, and then again in 1982. Nope, it ain't an amendment in this country. Sorry. Sorry, the only way you get the Equal Rights Amendment is if you got to go through Congress all over again. That means you got to go through the whole process again. You got to get 2/3. You got to get 2/3 of the House, 2/3 of the Senate. President has to sign it. and then it goes to the states, which means 3/4 of the United States, or since we have 50 states, 35 out of 50 states have to ratify it again. Sorry, sorry, leftists, you don't get that. You don't get that, and I'm telling you right now, guys, they don't get that. The fact of the matter is, guys, the fact of the matter is, the things that the leftists did on the way out the door is a total slap in the face. It is a total slap in the face to Americans. And I, for one, think like this. I, for one, think like this. Trump should challenge these so-called pardons and say, these people weren't convicted. These people weren't sentenced. These people weren't prosecuted. How can you pardon these people if they hadn't been through the legal system, the court system? It's that simple. But to me, these people need to go through the court system. These people do. These people need to be convicted. These people need to go to prison for what they did. These people really, really need to. And they really, really need to, guys. I'm telling you right now, they really, really need to. They really, really do, man. But the one thing I want to say like this, guys, and the one thing I want to say, and I want to say this well, guys. I'm glad Trump's back in the White House. I'm glad America's back at it again. I am glad that we have a country back again, that we no longer have to see the leftist bullshit. One thing I did iterate in on the show, and I want to talk about this, is that now during the inauguration, Trump said that his government will only recognize biological men and biological women. He will no longer recognize men who cosplay as women or women who cosplay as men. He will not recognize their passport, so or their driver's licenses, which means now their passports will have to be modified to their true biological gender. So, which means like those people who have those X on their passport for their gender, they they won't be recognized anymore. So that'll be shoved right out the window, and that'll be gone, which is a good thing. Okay. And as an intersex DSD person, and I'll say this, I am okay with what Trump has said during the inauguration about that. I am totally okay. I know there are some there's some sissy trans cult, some gender cult members who will have a hissy fit, a temper tantrum, and a hissy fit over it. And I go like this: let them, because their power is they don't have power in this country anymore. They don't have any say. We could just go total boss move on them and tell them go cry somewhere else. Go cry in your closet or go cry in your safe space. Okay? So that's why I agree with it, and that's why I totally believe that the government should recognize biological men and biological women. That's it. Any other any other made up gender should be considered a mental illness and should be treated in a psychiatric hospital, not be given like what, sex change and all this other bullshit. Yeah, it's pretty much that simple, guys. And I will say this: I know I know on X right now there are going to be gender trans cult members who are going to say, what are the MAGA cult doing? They're dissing intersex people." The only reason why they're trying to bring intersex people, ladies and gentlemen, is because they want to try to suck people into a never-ending circle jerk. They want to circle jerk the living fuck out of you by saying, "Oh, men are this, women are this. Well, what about intersex people? What about?" These whatabouts, ladies and gentlemen, are what we call trying to justify their bullshit, trying to trying to justify their fetish, their kink, their perversion, their mental illness, and they're using intersex people as political football to justify their perversion. Yeah, pretty much. And that's why, as an intersex DSD person, I do support the Trump agenda. I do support Donald Trump's inauguration address by him saying he will recognize biological men and biological women. I do support that on those grounds because let's face it, in reality, intersex is not a third sex, is not a sex, gender identity, or sexual orientation. It's a biological rare disease in reality. And at the same time, guys, a lot of intersex conditions, they're all male and female based. It's not like they're a third sex like the porny trans cult loves to make it. It's not. But in reality, it's a medical condition. And for these people to sexualize, fetishize, and pornify a medical condition to justify their own fetish, kink, and whatnot is disgusting. And it's why these people have no power anymore. They have no they have no say. They have no justification. They have no rhyme, no reason whatsoever. They have none. So I'm glad, ladies and gentlemen, I'm glad that Trump has finally said we will only recognize men and women. And men who claim to be women will be banned from women's sports and women's prisons. I'm glad. I'm totally all for it. I'm totally supportive of it. I am totally in agreement with it. And I will tell you this right now. It I am glad that America is back. Okay? I am so glad that we have a country back. That we have a country that we can be proud of. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. The era of the socialist communist democrat in this country is over. Ladies and gentlemen, you can breathe a sigh of relief and go, oh, that we no longer have to fear of saying stuff that will trigger a leftist. We can say what we want, and if they don't like it, shove them back in the closet where they motherfucking belong. Shove them back in the closet. Shove them in a mental institution where they belong. Just shove them back there. Because I'm telling you right now, it is great that we have a country. It is great that we have a nation that is respected. Peace through strength is making a comeback, guys. I'm telling you, peace through strength is totally making a boss move. It's totally making a comeback. The world community is now starting to respect us. Hell, even Putin now is is telling his people make a deal with Trump. Whatever deal that Trump wants, sign it. Make a deal with him. Make a deal with this guy. Yeah, other countries are coming on board with us and saying, "Hey, we want to work with you guys." Argentina, for example, their libertarian president wants to work with us, and I'm all for it. I'm all for make Argentina great again. Our version of MAGA should apply to Argentina. And I'm telling you right now, what Argentina is doing by cleaning up government waste and inefficiency, we should bring that up here to America too. Let Elon Musk and Malai work together and say, "Hey, how do we help? How do we help clean up America? What you did to Argentina, I want to bring that playbook up here and do the same." I'm telling you, we're gonna. If we did that, we will get rid of the leftist garbage. And I know during Trump's inauguration, he said he's banning CRT, he's banning DEI, which is diversity, equality, inclusion, which I've often said on the podcast show. A DEI hire is going to get somebody killed in this country. So that's why I'm glad DEI and CRT, which is what I call critical racist theory, is teaching people to be racist, is going away. It's gone. After today, DEI and CRT are gone, wiped off the map, wiped off the planet. They will no longer exist in this country. They will no longer exist. And I like how Trump said, we are now living in the golden age of America. Start acting like one, guys. Start acting like that. We are now living in the golden age of America. We literally are, guys. We literally are. Wow. Wow, guys. Yeah, wow. That was a good show for y'all today. That really is. That really is. And I I really enjoyed the show. I really enjoy watching on Fox Live right now, watching the presidential inauguration. I really enjoyed that and that was awesome. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, anyway, I thank you guys for listening to Nikki's World. I'm Nikki, your host. I will see y'all soon. Bye for now. You just listened to an episode of Nikki's World. Thanks for listening. We'll see y'all soon. Bye for now.